In this video, I'm going to show you how to place the sway bar bushings on this Jeep Wrangler. Located right behind your front bumper underneath this cover. Let's get started. This cover is held on with 4 10mm headed bolts, 2 on each side. Remove them all. Remove the cover. You're going to need a 15mm socket or wrench to remove these. Those back there are going to be pretty much only removable with a wrench, so make sure you have something that fits in there. These, of course, you can use a socket on. I'm going to break these free first, and then I have a ratchet wrench that fits in here. That way I can finish removing them. Once you've finished unthreading it with a wrench, remove the bolt. There it is. And now you can put a socket and a power tool on this one and remove it much faster. Do the same on the other side of the vehicle so we can lift up the sway bar. Otherwise, if it's clamped on one side, it's not going to want to lift up on this side. And with the same done on the other side, we can now lift up the sway bar. Pop these brackets off. Pull this forward a little bit. Now the bushing obviously has to come out of this bracket. Okay, so save the bracket. If it's rotted, replace it. This one has some rust inside that I'll clean up with a wire wheel, but it's okay, it's reusable. Inspect the condition of your sway bar. Oftentimes they rot here, they become weaker, and then they'll break under pressure. This one's in really good condition. Not much to see here, but if the paint is peeled off and it is very pitted and corroded, you want to consider replacing this because new bushings will also not clamp on properly, so you'll also end up with clunking over bumps. I did end up cleaning the sway bar a little bit because there was some rust bubbling up underneath this paint. I'm going to put some silicone paste on the area where the bushing will sit. Not a lot, just enough so it can slide on easily. They are very stiff when they're new. Add some silicone paste on the inside of the bushing. You don't need a lot, just a nice coating so it can move freely and not bind up once it's installed. And also, of course, so it can slide on easier. Now putting this on will be a little bit tricky because they are very stiff, so you'll have to try to spread it apart. Slide on one end. Try to get your fingers in there and make sure that, there we go, that just slipped on. Make sure the split is facing backwards so that water and debris don't potentially make their way in as they're being forced in by the wind while you're driving. I'm going to wipe off some of the excess silicone paste. What I like to do now is take a pry bar or a flathead screwdriver, stick it in here to spread this apart. You can add a little bit more silicone paste on the inside. Any excess will squeeze out, so it's not like you can add too much, but doing this will work it into the sway bar. I'm going to put whatever I've left over on my brush on top of the bushing. This will just allow the bracket to slide on a lot easier. And speaking of the bracket, I cleaned it up because there was a little bit of rust in there, and I also added some silicone paste for this exact reason, so it can slide on and prevent rust. Without silicone paste, sometimes it can be a struggle to slide these over the bushing. Do the same on the other side, and then we'll reposition the sway bar and brackets on their mounting holes. With everything lined up, drop in the bolts and start them by hand, making sure they don't cross thread. Move this around as needed. And now, let's bottom them out and snug them up. All right, that's bottomed out. Let's grab the longer wrench. This one, no matter what, I won't be able to torque, so I'm just going to do my best to tighten up with a wrench. That's nice and tight right there. These ones I can torque, so I will. The torque on these is 40 foot-pounds. If you have anything that'll torque the back ones, go for it. I don't, so I'm just going to torque the front ones. Do the same on the other side. Reinstall this cover. Bolt it on with the 2 mounting bolts. 2 on each side, that is, so 4 in total. Tighten them up, but don't make them too tight. This cover is plastic and it can break. Do the same on the other side. Now take it for a road test and make sure you hear no clunks or squeaks over bumps.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.